The life and sad ending of Jeanne Pruett. Jeanne Pruett was born Norma Jean Bowman on January 30, 1937, outside of Pell City, Alabama. She was raised on a farm and was one of 12 children. Pruett recalled the experiences of being raised on a farm in her 2017 autobiography. The beauty of the farm, dotted with tall pine trees, sweet shrubs, and blooming dogwood trees, reminded me why they worked so hard because there wasn't a more perfect site in the world than that old farm, she explained. In 1947, the Bowman family farm caught fire which devastated the family. The only sounds now were an occasional pop of the dying sparks and the sound of Mama softly crying, her tired arms holding on to Dad and the children, she recounted. With the support of neighbors, the Bowmans rebuilt their home on the same property within a year's time. In her childhood, Pruett often informally performed music with her family. They often sang together on the front porch of their farmhouse where she also learned to harmonize. At home, Pruett also learned how to play musical instruments. She learned how to first play guitar from the song Down the Trail of H.N. Hearts. She also frequently listened to the radio. It seemed to me that the voices of the DJs were as recognizable to me as the voices of my favorite singers of the day, Pruett said. Outside of the home environment, Pruett joined her school's choral group and formed a trio in high school called the Super Suds. Pruett dropped out of high school in the 10th grade and got a job at a telephone company in Anniston, Alabama. While not working, she and her sister would attend dances at a local VFW hall. At these dances, she also became interested in performance opportunities. She started singing with the VFW's country band and appeared on a local television station. Now the entertainment hook was really in my mouth, Pruett remembered. It was at these outings that she met guitarist Jack Pruett and they began dating. Jack enlisted in the military shortly after their relationship began. While awaiting his return, Jeanne moved into his sister's home. After Jack returned from the service, the couple married in 1955. Also in 1955, Jack became the touring guitarist for country artist Ray Price. In 1956, the pair moved to Nashville, Tennessee, so that Jack continued performing in Price's band. The couple lived in a trailer park and were neighbors to country performers Lester Flatt, Hawkshaw Hawkins, and Gene Shepard. While still living at the trailer, Pruett gave birth to their first child. Shortly after the birth, Jack Pruett accepted a job playing guitar in Marty Robbins' road band. After accepting the position, the family moved into a two-story house in Nashville. Pruett developed a songwriting hobby while raising her new family. She became increasingly devoted to it once her children entered school. In 1963, her husband brought her songs to Marty Robbins, who signed her to his publishing company. Several of her songs were demoed by a male singer, with the exception of the tune Count Me Out. Pruett recorded the song's demo instead. Robbins heard it and was impressed. He later cut the track and had a major hit with it in 1966. He was also impressed by Pruett's singing. "I believe we've discovered a new girl singer," he said after hearing her on record. That year, her first single entitled Just a Little After Heartaches was issued. She first heard it on the radio the same day Patsy Cline was killed in a March 1963 plane crash. In 1971, she gained moderate success with the single Hold On to My Unchanging Love. It became Pruett's first chart entry, reaching number 66 on the Billboard Hot Country Singles chart. The following year, Pruett's self-penned Love Me was released and became her first top 40 entry on the country singles chart. Robbins recorded the track shortly after the original and make it a top 10 hit on the same chart. In October 1972, Pruett's debut studio album was released on the Decca label. It was reviewed by Billboard magazine the same month, which praised the recording. "A stirring effort for the debut of Jeanne Pruett," they wrote. By 1973, Pruett's music career had gained more momentum. The same year she released John Volinkati's composition called Satin Sheets. The song had first been cut as a duet by Bill Anderson and Jan Howard on their studio album Bill and Jan. However, their version was not released as a single. The marketing method worked when Satin Sheets reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot Country Singles chart in May 1973. The song also rose to number 28 on the Billboard Hot 100. The song's success prompted an album of the same name to be released in June 1973. The album topped the Billboard Top Country Albums chart in July, becoming her highest-charting LP. After Satin Sheets became a number 1 hit, Pruett's schedule became increasingly demanding. With Jeanne now a star, with hit records and so many signed contracts for road dates, I had to buy a briefcase to carry them all, she wrote. MCA Records released a follow-up single in August 1973 called I Am Your Woman. It became her second major hit, climbing to number 8 on the Billboard Country chart. The following year, Pruett's eponymous third studio album was released and peaked at number 19 on the Country Albums chart. The project included You Don't Need to Move a Mountain, her third major hit on the Country Songs Survey. In 1975, MCA released Pruett's fourth studio recording, Honey on His Hands. Although the album peaked in a lower charting Billboard position, it included 4 singles that became top 40 country hits. In 1977, the single I Am Living a Lie reached number 30 on the country chart, becoming her highest climbing single of the past several years. Between 1979 and 1980, Pruett had a major comeback after 3 of her singles reached the top 10 of the Billboard Country Songs chart. The first was the self-pinned Back to Back, which reached number 6. The following single release, Temporarily Yours, became her highest-peaking IBC hit when it reached number 5. It's Too Late would reach number 9 on the country chart before the end of 1980. Billboard took notice of Pruett's return in an October issue of their magazine, calling it an artist resurgence. Pruett started slowing down her music career as the 1980s progressed. She remained a regular Opry member and dedicated time to regular appearances on the program. In 1985, she released her final studio album to date in a joint venture between DOT and MCA Records. The album was part of a project that included new album releases by other veteran country artists including Jan Howard and Billy Joe Spears. The record was produced by Billy Strange. In 1987, she released a single titled Rented Room, which was her final chart appearance on the Billboard Country Songs chart, peaking at number 81. In 1986, Pruett made a career shift into professional cooking. That year she released her first cookbook, which she entitled Feedin' Friends. To promote the book, Pruett made regular appearances on the Nashville Network's Nashville Now program with host Ralph Emery. In 1988, she published a second book as part of the Feedin' Friends cooking series. According to Pruett, the cookbooks sold hundreds of thousands of copies since their original release. 4 books were eventually released as part of the series. Pruett has been married 2 times. She married her first husband, Jack Pruett, on October 10, 1955. After their son was born and Jack was making a more steady income, the family moved to a 2-story house in Nashville. In 1958, the couple welcomed their second child, Yael, and moved to a larger estate in the Nashville area. In later years, Pruett's children became musicians themselves and often performed with her on stage. In 1982, Pruett divorced her husband, citing his alcohol problems and busy schedules. In her 2017 autobiography, she explained her feelings behind the divorce. Our divorce in the early 1980s was the most painful time in our lives. At that time, I would trade all my success and all his success for the divorce never to have happened, she recalled. According to Pruett, the couple remained civil towards one another. Jack Pruett later remarried and died in 2011. Pruett moved to a nearby apartment following her divorce. Her road manager and occasional bus driver, Eddie Fulton, also lived in the same complex. The pair spent more time together and developed a romantic relationship. In 1985, the couple married and built a log-styled home. "We had lots in common, so we just fell in love," she recounted. In July 2019, Fulton died.